Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing Oracle data performance tuning, and I'm planning to have 12 parts. So this is the first part of Oracle database performance tuning, and in this we'd go through a couple of topics which we would be covering as a part of our performance tuning. Then I would be reviewing those steps, and I will also show you the demo. But before I proceed, I just wanted to make it that the demo Word doc which I would be showing up has been prepared by has not been prepared by me, and it has been downloaded from an open without access portal. And as and when required, I will be always ready to give the due diligence and full credit to the person. But right now I'm not mentioning any further details. Okay, but this is not the Word doc on basis of which this performance tuning demos will be discussed and will be shown here. That Word doc has been prepared by some other person, and I'm ready to give the due diligence or the credit. Okay, so let's move to the second slide. So basically, when we do the demo, we would be covering topics like work area size policy, sort area size, user segments, SGA target, SGA max size, resource manager plan, V $SGA dynamic components, alter system plus buffer underscore cache, V $BH, buffer cache, DBA objects, row num, dirty buffer, DBWR, which is database writer process, free buffer. Then xcur, CR, V $latch underscore children, V $session, V $session underscore wait, V $DB underscore cache advice. Okay, so what is the work area size policy? So this is related to the PGA, which is called Programmer Global Area. It has two value to set. One is called auto, another is called manual. And this plays an important part while allocating the space inside a PGA memory. So if we go to PGA memory structure, you have sort area, you have hash area, you have bit map merge area, session memory, persistence area, and a runtime area. So this is also called as a SQL work areas, and the other one is called the private SQL areas. Okay, so when I set the work area size policy is equal to auto, whatever the PGA is allocated based on the PGA aggregate limit parameter, this space here gets adjusted automatically. So if we can see here, this is a parameter type is a string. It has two value, auto and manual, and we can do it like session wise or a system wise. So when we do a session wise, it's at the session level. When we do a system wise, it's like it's remain persistent after the reboot and all. Okay, and once I even bounce it, it will be there. But for the session, if I make a change in the parameter, and when I disconnect, that parameter won't exist if I reconnect with the same user from after some time. So when it is set to auto, let me read this what it says. Work area used by memory intensive operations are sized automatically based on the PGA memory used by the system. The target PGA memory set in PGA aggregate target and the requirement of each individual operator. So when it is set to manual, the sizing of work areas is manual and based on the value underscore area underscore size parameter corresponding to the operation. Okay, so if it is manual, these values will be sought out based on what is the value set for all these parameters. Okay, and generally it's not recommended because it can definitely your performance would be limited. In a sense, if it is auto, the system will automatically try to adjust the space, and you will be able to get your SQL performance optimized. Okay, so what is a sort area size? Okay, let's get into a definition. Sort area size specifies the maximum amount of memory Oracle will use for a sort after the sort is complete but before the rows are returned. Oracle release all of the memory allocated for the sort except the amount specified by sort area retained size parameter. After the row is returned, Oracle release the remainder of the memory. Okay, so let's read once again. So this specifies the maximum amount of memory Oracle will use for a sort. After the sort is complete, but before the rows are returned, Oracle release all of the memory allocated for the sort. So let's say I've allocated like 5 gig and I'm using a 2 gig, and I also have a setting sort area retained size of 1 gig. So it will release the 4 gig of space till the rows are returned. Okay, so between rows sorted and rows returned, whatever the time window is, in that it will still hold 1 gig of the memory, and when the rows is returned finally to the client, it will release the 1 gig also. So if you have a more area size, it improves the efficiency of large sort, but there are cases this is more general statement. Okay, we will look sometime later. User segments, so this particular table contain details of user segments. Okay, so let's see user. So if you see here, user segment describes the storage allocated for the segment owned by the current user object, its column. Okay, so it is the same as the DBA segment. So basically it describes the storage allocated. So what is the storage particular user? Okay, SGA target is the max amount of memory allocated. So SGA max size is the max amount of the memory. So let's say I set it the SGA max size as 5 gig and SGA target as a 4 gig. I can use anytime till 4 gig, but if required I can still go to 5 gig, and for that I have to change the parameter SGA target to 5 gig. Resource manager plan is a component based on which we set the resources to the different functionalities of the oracles. Resources in terms of the CPU percentage utilization, in terms of memory, we can priorities, we can decide based on the resource manager plan. $SGA dynamic components. So this particular table is a view which contains the details about the dynamic components of SGA. Okay, so if you see here, $SGA dynamic component displays information about the dynamic SGA component. This view summarizes information based on all completed SGA resize operations since instant startup. So these are the component name, current size, mean size, user specified size, last open, and all. So basically what are the components of the SGA? Okay, you have library cache, you have a buffer cache, you have a sort pool, so the details of those things, how they have placed, so if it is an automatic memory management, then the memory for buffer cache, library pools, shared pools, sort areas will be adjusted automatically based on the requirement. So in 5 minutes after the instance starts, this view gets populated based on the load on the system and based on these different memory areas uses. So you get your details here. Okay, now alter system flush buffer cache. See, buffer cache contains details about frequent queries and details associated with it. So once you do alter system flush buffer cache, basically it's all about you're removing the hash value of a SQL query from the memory address and Once you do that, and you do it with this alter system plus buffer cache, and once you do that, you okay, let me, yeah. So once you do that, you need to, you know, so once you do that, you need to, so when you run the same query again, it will be hard passed. Okay. So v dollar bh, so it contains detail about the memory block of the buffer cache. Let's see. Displays the status and the number of pings for every buffer in the SGA. This is called, okay, real application cluster view. So what is the buffer in SGA? Buffer are the memory blocks. Okay, so this view has the definitions. So it will tell xcar, which is exclusive, or it is a consistent read. So when it is an xcar exclusive, it means that particular buffer or the block in the memory is going to be get updated. When it is a consistent read, it means those particular block or buffer in the memory has stated as CR because the select query is reading from there. Okay. Now buffer cache. Okay. So I have some definitions here. The Oracle database buffer cache is also referred to as buffer cache. The buffer cache store copies of data blocks in the memory. These copies are stored in what is called buffers by Oracle. Naturally, the size of the buffer equals the data block size. The buffer cache is shared among all sessions that are connected to an instance. The goal is to keep frequently used data blocks in the buffer cache in order to improve I/O by having less physical reads or writes. Okay. Then there are components of the buffer cache, which is called default pool, big table cache, keep pool, recycle pool, non-default buffer pools, database smart flush cache, least recently used, checkpoint queue, and flush buffer. And there are further details of this. Okay. Row num. Okay, so what is the row number? So every row in a table has a value starts, and it's a hexadecimal value, but when we access, so this row num will come 1 2 3 4, but internally there is an hexadecimal value which are mapped to 1 2 3 value. What are the dirty buffers? The dirty buffers are those buffers in a buffer cache which is a part of the SGA which has been modified and has to be written on the disk to make it permanent. What is the DBWR? Which is called database writer process. What it does, it will take the content from the dirty buffer and write it on the disk. What is a free buffer? Free buffer are those buffers which do not hold currently any copy from the disk and are ready to be written or occupied by some new changes or any incoming frequent or any incoming frequent buffer. Okay, so xcar is exclusive status of the block. What it does mean that someone of the process has taken an xcar or exclusive lock of the buffer in order for modified. CR is consistent read, so the buffer is into a consistent read mode for reading purpose. V dollar latch underscore children, in order for take the lock on a buffer, a latch has to be taken. Okay, so we'll discuss v dollar latch underscore children table later. V dollar session contains detail about all the sessions, active, inactive. V dollar session wait contains details about the session wait contains about the session wait. What are the reasons or what are the options for which the session is waiting? V dollar db cache advice contain details about buffer cache, and it advise based on the workload that how much you should resize your buffer cache so that you do not so that you get a better performance. Okay, now let's try to do demo and the doc review. Okay, So let's see here. Okay, so this document says start the database and listener. So let's check. So we can check by pmon ps minus ef by grep pmon, or either we can check ps grep by smon. Okay, so preferably smon is like server monitor, this is process monitor, so generally either of these can give value. So really pmon has to be up, and our database is demodb. Let's check our listener. This is the one way to check, and another is check like this. Okay, let me set demo db ls and rctl status. Okay, I see my demo db is in place, and I can check my environment here. This I generally do it. So I see like I have a demo db, my oracle base is opt oracle, and this is this. Okay, so I can just connect as a sysdba, and let's see what is next. So it says as a sysdba start, which is already started. Now it says disable the auto task. Let me see what is the auto task client. So based on this document, there are certain tasks which is called SQL tuning advisor, auto optimizer stats collection, auto space advisor. These are enabled. So what does this do? This SQL tuning advisor runs in the background, and it will suggest a way to tune a SQL. For an example, if you see the SQL taking let's say time t is equal to 2 milliseconds, it will suggest if you can create an index, it will reduce your time to 1.5 seconds. So this will do the stats collection automatically, and this will advise on space advice. So these are the jobs which are enabled. If enabled, keeps on working in the background, and when you run one of their function, you can get the detail on the advice. Okay, what they're suggesting. Okay, so let's see this. So what it is doing, I'm selecting the client name, status, attribute, and the service name. Okay, so set lines. Okay, let me set this side. So I see call Windows C format A20, and let's see, can it, okay, still not call status format A20, can it go? No. Yep, call attributes format A20, can it? Okay, so okay, now we have got that we have a SQL tuning advisor, auto optimizer stats collection enabled, and this is the attribute. It has to be run once per window, on by default, volatile, safe to kill, and the service name is not there. Okay, so these are enabled. We have to disable it. Okay, so already I see for this command is there. Let's see, we'll run like this. Okay, it's completed. Now, so what it does, begin dbms auto task admin. This is the function name. Dot disable is the parameter. Client name is auto space advisor, which is this. Operation null, window null. So window has been done null and end. So I'm using a disable function, so it will disable it. Now let's see the tuning advisor. It goes like this. So begin dbms auto task admin disable, and I'm disabling the SQL tuning advisor, and the operation is null, window name is null, so I disabled it. So you need to understand that you have to use dbms underscore auto task underscore admin disable. Okay, now let's go to disabling auto optimizer stats collection. Okay, so same here, and now let me run the command again. I think that's what this is done here. So I am again, the objective is to disable all things. So this is all are disabled. Okay, this is disabled. Now let's go back here. So it is saying create the demo data table space. Let me see what are the table space I have. V dollar table space. I think I created it. Select unique name from V dollar table space. Okay. So I think it's not created. System sysocs undo tabs stamps and user. So what it says, create a demo user. Let's see, do you have any user? Select username from DBA users. Do I have it? No, I don't think so. Okay, now I can also have DSC DBA data files just to check where okay, table space name, file name. Okay, I have another shortcut to look. Let's try this way. Augment target report schema. Okay, so preferably I think I'm creating in an optical aura data, but I think I have a path here. Okay, no problem. Let me go back here and I can create table space demo data file home oracle aura data and demo underscore data dot dbf size, let's say 2k. Okay, let's see. Then it says create the demo user. Create user demo identified by oracle. Default is demo data temporary table state tempo. Yeah, I think I can just go like this. That's fine. Okay, let's see. So the user is created. Grant DBA to demo. So the objective is like, you know, that when we give a DBA, so from the demo purpose, the focus should be on the executions, not on, you know, working out the missing grants. Okay, create the my sales tables in the demo schema. So how do I create it? Create table my sales, no logging, do not log. So that's also parameter. Let's see, archive log list. Okay, so anyhow, archive is not enabled here. I have disabled it because of the space part. And if you see it here, you know, this is my space. So you can see 1.9, 2.9, and I have some space on here, but I do not want to just to, you know, fill it up. So it's all disabled right now because the OPT is here in the root. I have like just 4.3 gigs. So, okay. Now create table my sales, no logging. Okay, what it says? Okay, select row num as ID, row num +1 as flag, Samsung Galaxy S7 as a product, mode row num 5 as channel ID, mode row num comma file as cust ID, 5000 as amount sold, truncate sysdet -1000 plus mode as order date, truncate this from dual. Okay, so if you see here, you know what is happening. The first thing is like I need to put because I have to create inside a demo schema, so I have to put demo dot, else it will try to create, or else I connect as a demo user, I think, you know. So I show user, let me connect demo oracle. Will it allow? Okay, it allow. Okay, now what it is doing here, you know, if you see the select, this is okay. This is one processing where the row num value +1 is getting added. This is okay, static. Here channel ID is mode row num 5. Okay, so this is one processing, this is one processing, this is truncating, this is one function which is getting processed, this is one function which is getting processed. And let me see, as per this we should get an error that not enough memory is available. Okay, okay, 1 second, Windows C. Okay, let's see, somewhere it didn't work. Let's me try. Okay, let's see. Add a.sql unknown command, rest of the line is ignored, beginning row. Okay, let me see what went wrong here. Create, let me try to write create table my sales, no login as, let's see, I think copying here should be okay, but let's see. Unknown command, I don't think so it's taking up. What's the problem? We need to troubleshoot it, right? Okay. Okay. I think I need to put it in some notepad here to in order to online notepad. Let's see what are the options I have. Okay. Okay, it says free. Okay, I think this option won't work. No free online. Okay, let's see. Let's see, can I copy it from here? Okay, right. Now it's running. Okay, so this is the thing, create table myself, and we were even not enough memory for okay, so let's see, explain plan for set server output on explain plan for explain select asterisk from dbms underscore explain plan display. Let's see, I'm not able to recall it. Select asterisk from dbms underscore explain plan dot display. Okay, that's correct. I was okay. Okay, so if I see it, you know, this is the explain plan for the filter is this label less than 1e7 fast dual, one rows are returned here, but somewhere we see this error part which is says that. Okay, let's try to run this query again. Okay, create table myself. Okay, not enough memory for connect by operations, so it is okay. And let's check what is the parameter right now for work area size policy. So parameter, because this processing is happening at the PGA level, okay, which is auto, so we are going to set alter session set this thing which is manual here, and we are going to set the, okay, just also show parameter PGA. Okay, so I have a 394 MB of the memory, and the max I can go to 2 gig, and since it was an auto, it was not able to give that much of memory, and that's why it says not enough memory for sorting. And let's see what it says, 104857660, which is okay. Let's see, set. Okay, I don't know whether this command will work or not. Okay, okay, so this is roughly how much I set it. Let me give you the 104857600 divided 1024 divided 1024. So I give it 100 MB for sort area. Okay, let's see, and again we would be running the same command, and let's see, are we able to do it or not. So I think some activity is happening here right now because yeah, so the table got created. So what I assume, like when this was the auto, whatever the Oracle decided, to provide the sort area size, it tried to appropriately, give the allocate space for sort area size, but somewhere it was not able to do it, and as a result we got an error that memory is not available. So what we did, we set the work area size policy to be manual. So work area size policy controls the allocation of the memory inside a PGA as per the requirement, and we have given 100 MB of the space, and we see the table got created. Now let's see uh, what is this value. Okay, the problem is I have to copy here, and from here I should go it. And the other thing is like let me see what is the user here. Okay, demo. So I have a 6. So my my sales table size is 664 KB. Okay, now it is saying that change the SGA target and SGA max size to 360 MB. Let's see what is my current value. So parameter SGA. So my SGA target is 1184 M, and okay, so what we do here, let's go let me go back to my sysdba, and so parameter sp file, and I'm using an sp file here, and it is using me to change at the system label. Okay, let's see. I got it target as this, I got it the max size as this. Okay, 1 second. As this. So okay, now I have to shut down. I could have also done by user demo, but so okay, the shut immediate. Okay, and then I do a startup again. It's taking time, so let's wait for it. Startup. Okay, now once it starts, it's saying that I check v dollar resource. I don't think anything is enabled, but let's see. Okay, resource limit is true, resource manager plan there is no value, so okay, so we should be good, we should not be running because there is nothing. Now let's see what is the current size of auto tuned parameter. Okay, so we are trying to v dollar sg. Okay, we are trying to query the sga. Okay, the dynamic views. Let's see. Okay, so based on these particular view, the default buffer cache size is 136 MB. The minimum is 1, max is like 176. So basically this is the current size. This is the max. Currently, like out of 176, 136 is used. Shared pool 12 MB, and current size is 12, so it's all used. Large pool 44, so all like shared pool. Okay, so if you see here, shared IO pool, large pool, and a shared pool all are used compared to their max size, but buffer cache has some space. Okay, okay, so this is giving the details. Now with this we will see what was the resize operation which has been carried out on the default buffer cache since instance startup. Okay, so we'd like to see that. Let's see. Okay, so if you see here, we have the value for the db default buffer cache, and these are, basically resizing operations, shrink, static, initialize, and these are the time frame when the buffer cache was used, shrink, went to max stage, and then it just went back. So if you see here, whenever the size is more than allocated size, which is here, it's went to initializing. When it is like, more than t size, is went to shrink. Okay, and yeah, let's see. Now I define the number of blocks in the bus currently, and so what is the current status of the block, and what is the status? Okay, so currently you see there are 8,804 blocks which are in exclusive lock meant for an update or a change, and there are 61 blocks which are in the consistent read. Okay, so we will flush the buffer cache and we'll see what happens after that. Okay, now we have flushed it. Basically we try to release the max. So if you see here, so out of total 8,865, everything is free, so there is no blocks currently holded in these positions. So I have actually removed everything, the status of it. Okay, now we will identify the object ID of the my sales table and determine if any block belonging to this table is currently in a buffer cache. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the object ID is 73230, and for this we are going to $bh table, which keeps the details of the buffer blocks, and we'll see any. Okay, so there is no blocks in the buffer cache for this my sales table for xcar. So what does that mean? It means that there is no dirty buffer or any buffer in the buffer cache in exclusive mode logged, which are subject for modification. Okay, so there is nothing, so it means there is no activity in start happening on this my sales table. Okay, let me scroll here, and so it is saying from the another terminal window, connect as a demo user and execute a query. Okay, let's see. File, new sale tab. Let me go here to this. Let me clear it. Let me send it to demo db env pipe grep aura. I go to the SQL plus and I run a query, select from my sales where row num is 1001. So I think it should be CR according to me, because I'm running this thing. I can also connect to send demo/oracle, and let's see what does it run. And before I run this, okay, let's see. Okay, so there are, okay, is it still running? Yes, looks like. Okay, so 1000 rows get selected, and I see that my free blocks in the buffer is 8151. 7 and 13 blocks are in exclusive, and 1 block is in CR. Okay, so I think this is the same command which was run. So the next query says just check for this particular object ID how much of these belongs to this one. So there are 81 blocks Okay, so there are 81 blocks total which belongs to my sales because of this query, and the point is now that we have to see how many are consistent read uh, for this, and status is equal to CR. So there is nothing, I mean to say there is no select running right now, but let me just try to I don't know how to simulate this, but let's see. Okay, so it's, I think it's too fast. Actually it's like, or maybe I can okay, we'll do that. There is an option to, you know, put pause, so that, okay, let's see, is there any dirty buffer? Oh, there are 22. Okay, so what does that mean? That there are 22 rows which needs to be written. Okay, it says that from the demo user on the other session, insert an statement and just roll back. Let's see, and count the dirty block. Okay, I can. Okay, so what does that mean? That since I updated 1000 rows, how many? Okay, there are 2475 dirty blocks are there. So this update has happened in the buffer. It has not been written to the disk right now. So the point is, if I get into another session, okay, and run a query that select from my sales, select channel ID from my sales where row num is less than, I think I should not get one. Let's try to see that. Okay, new sale tab. I just wanted to show you SSH Oracle. Okay, so what I was trying to say, that if I, let me connect here, if I don't do it, I would put the demo.myself. Okay, select from my sales, select channel ID from my sales where row num is like this. Okay, so you can see this, right? I have not put the commit, so it's like 12340 12340. Okay, so if I put commit right now here, this all value will change to 1. So when I could put, when I put commit, this dirty buffer, okay, if I go further and I put and object ID is this, so there are 800 blocks which are dirty belonging to this particular tier. So this will not change. Okay, let's see this. Now let me try to do rollback. Okay, so rollback is complete. Now let me see this. Still it's 810. Let's see this, 2495. Okay, so it's saying that my dirty block count remain the same because yes, if I do the rollback, so basically what happens, like now when I do a checkpoint, this thing will not get written. That's the first part. Okay, now I do alter system checkpoint, alter system checkpoint, and the thing is just to check if there is a reduction in the dirty buffer. Yeah, it goes to 0. Okay, now let's run this query. It should be 1. No, it's not. Okay, okay, because I rolled back. Okay, and then I did a system checkpoint. So what it does, it just replicated. It's basically a row. It basically, you know, checkpoint happens. So basically the dirty buffers has been written with the same value what it was before the insert statement. Okay, so nothing got written to the disk. Now Let's see the current number of the misses for the buffer chain. Let me paste it here. Control C. Okay. So it says 24 misses and 22 slips. Okay. So there are 24 misses, and we will discuss, about this. What is the buffer chain? So let's try to flush the buffer cache. Okay, again, done. Now if you want to simulate an hot block simulations, what we need to do, we have to okay, we have to run this in window 1. So where we are running a loop from 1 to 1000 and updating the sales with the id is equal to 3, where row num is less than 5. Okay, so we do this here, and here what we are running from 1 to 50,000. We are doing the sum amount sold from my sales where Chinese. Okay, and loop. Okay, let's see. Okay, so these both are running. So it says just go to this and see what is the wait time here. Okay, so the wait time is OFS idle, wait time is 0, and these, okay, this completed, this completed. Okay, okay, so somewhere we were not able to simulate it fast, but I'll just run this query. So it says like there should be a wait, okay, in order to look for a cache buffer chain latch wait. We have to run this query, and I don't think so it will give any value right now, but yeah, no row selected. And so the rule is like, once you run this query, you go to here, you run another query. Okay, so the thing is like, one side I'm trying to update, the other side I'm trying to do some calculation. So basically I'm trying to read the same block in the memory label, and this will give me a wait. So one query is trying to update, one query is trying to read, and both of these queries are trying to read the same block, because I have not done the checkpoint or I have not done the commit. So things are happening in the memory label. Now it's saying run the another query. If there it is, let's see, does it? At least these will be captured. Okay, yes it is. So there are 6, 7, 6, 8, 6 misses and 7, 1 sleep times. Okay, we can also do to find what are the database objects related to the hot block. So what the query is, okay, now the question is, from the preceding value I have to use HLADDR value obtained from the preceding value. Okay, let's see, window, control C, control V. Is there? No. Okay, so if you do $BAH, okay, let's try to describe, let's try to connect here. Let's just describe $BH, select hexa address, which is HLADDR. So if you see here, it is running from $AH, where a dot object and b dot owner. Okay, we can also describe here Okay, see what is the thing is, like from this particular table you have to go to the ADDR and you have to convert into hexadecimal address, and you have to run this particular query which is here. Let's see, I'm just running this, I'm not giving the address. Let's see what it returns. Okay, okay, so the file number is 5, DBA block is 130 and 131 and 130, object is ID is this, and my sales. Okay, now so what is it? Okay, so this is the contention block where the contention happened, for which we got this misses and sleeps. So this is the number of the times that particular block was accessed, you know. So one of the query could not get that block number 131 and 130 6 7 6 8 times, and another query has to sleep 700. So basically it has to stop for sometimes 711 times in order to get an access to that particular block. Now what it's saying that in each of the demonstration issue the following which will perform a high volume of full table scan. So what it is doing, I'm declaring x as a number, then I'm doing a begin, then I'm running the loop from 100 times, and in this loop I'm basically summing it up, okay, where id is equal to 3. Let's see this. Okay, let's be okay, table of view does not exist, that's fine. Demo Oracle, I do this. Okay, and in another session I've put up another condition. So basically I'm again trying to do the same thing. It's like some other mathematical based on certain conditions. So let me run this in this. Okay, now I can run db cache advice. So basically to check how should I optimize my, okay, let's see. Okay, so this is the result, and I think still it's running. So we got an advice that if you keep your cache size as 12 MB, it will have 1464 buffer. Estimated read is like estimated buffer read and estimated physical read. Okay, so the point is like I have to take any value from here to here. These are considered as a good candidate for this particular piece of queries, because my factor is 1. So anything above and beyond is like, you know, can affect either of these sides. Okay, so let's say for example I keep my cache as 120 MB. My physical estimated read factor, buffer read will be 14,640. My estimated physical factor would be 1, estimated physical read would be, okay, so if I keep this, I will have an equal proportion of a buffer read for this set of queries which has just got completed, the bulk I had did it. Okay, and so where, you know, so I can also keep this, or you know, if you ask like, okay, I just keep 240, I get most of my things run on this, and I do the less IO. So even I can go here, but if you see this, it will do more physical IO. So if you put 12, so the more you put it, you remain better. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all for the today's demo, and we'll get another thing on the performance tuning, and I'll try to keep it more engaging, and see you next.